Hey, this is Jeff with JW Designs. Thanks for stopping by. Grab you a hot cup of coffee, hot tea, or a beverage of your choice. Sit back, relax, and enjoy a build video that I put together for a project my wife was hoping to have accomplished. She wanted me to build basically what looks like a window so that she could put some picture frames in it, hang it on the wall, hopefully with the ability to access the back and change pictures. Tombstone is definitely, in my opinion, the best Western ever. So right here, putting together the maple, making those cuts so that we get them to dimension, ended up being 1 inch by 1.5 inch, and then we cut them to length on the miter saw station here in just a bit. I don't know that I would encourage you to practice this method of bringing it all the way through the blade. Probably not the safest thing to do, but just be careful. A great place for your offcuts, and you can enjoy the fire. Nice ambiance. Here are the picture frames that my wife chose so that we could take those apart. We don't need the stands for those, so I'm just taking those off. It's pretty easy to do. Now, contemplating how I'm going to put those all together, the spacing, overall dimensions. Going to cut the rails and stiles here at the miter saw station. This is a Bosch Axial Glide miter saw, compound miter saw, I should say. So you can see I cut the end off of that. I always want to make sure that you do that so that you start with a square cut to begin with. That way all of your dimensions will be correct. Future projects in the waiting. Little poplar, little hickory, little maple, little walnut. Rails and stiles now cut to length. Or not. This Kreg system for making sure your cuts are repeatable has been such a help. Now those middle pieces don't exactly look like that. I'm just using those as reference points. Now you begin to get an idea of what this is going to look like. Getting ready to cut the cross pieces over here on the miter saw station. Using pocket hole for putting this together. The Kreg Foreman here comes in super handy. Was a bit of a chore for this on the maple. Just had to go carefully. And that's why you see me with one cut, just taking my time. Now you'll get an idea what this project is going to look like. Basically a window with those frames as the panes. This assembly table has come in real handy. With the overhang, it gives me the ability to clamp things and put things together, but you will see that I should have done this a little differently. One thing you want to remember when you're doing pocket hole construction is that they can move if you're not careful. It was good to clamp them to the table, but as you'll see in just a moment, this is what you should do. You should clamp across so that it doesn't move when you place the screw. in the hole. Obviously, I put this together on the back facing up so that everything would be hidden. The frames fit in here pretty nicely. I did have to make this was a little snug, so I had to kind of push that into place, but it fit well. And now putting it all together. Ends up being fairly strong, just pocket holes on the joints, no glue. Broke out the old Bostitch pneumatic nailer here. I had some small nails on hand, and this worked really well to put in these trim pieces. I hope this helps you create your own project, maybe something like this or something similar that you might be able to utilize some of the skills that you've learned in this video. After all, it is our desire to help you create. And if this video helps you to do that, or you learn any tips and tricks, or it inspires you to break out the tools and get something done, don't be afraid to like it, share it, make a comment if you would, or you can subscribe as well. The sanding process is always a bit of a chore. My sanding process that I express on any project is basically 80 grit, 120 grit, 220 grit. Then for a lot of projects, I'll wet the project down and then hit it with 220 once again, and it'll be very smooth. For this one, I used walrus oil for sealer. I don't know that I would recommend walrus oil for something where it could get wet. It tends to raise the grain just a bit and show rings and those types of things. But for this project, since it's hanging on the wall, you'll see that it works really well, raising the grain of that maple beautifully. My wife wanted to have this little detail across the front, so all I did was drill a pilot hole and place a trim nail in the front of that. Now it's time to get it on the wall. Thanks for taking time out of your day to check out this video. Every build is certainly a joy and a challenge, hopefully learning something that helps you create. Thanks for watching.